Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's session. My name is Camille Westmoreland, for those who do not know me, and I'm super excited to take a few moments to just share some information with you all tonight. I know you've seen lives popping up all over social media, where we're talking about just this movement that's happening. Is some massive movement that is taking place, and tonight I'm going to be sharing with you more details about that movement and why you're missing out, right? So if you could do me a favor, go ahead and hit share on this video. Go ahead and tag someone to let them know, hey Mo, welcome to the call. And invite someone and let them know they definitely want to tap into this information. I'm not sure exactly whether you're streaming on Facebook or whether you're streaming on YouTube, but get the word out, because the information that I'm going to be sharing is extremely important for every person out there. Hey, Demetrius, that wants change in their life. And I'm not just saying that as a cliche, but it's just really the reality of the state of the actual economy right now. And so we're going to go ahead and jump in there. So as I mentioned, my name is Camille Westmoreland. I am a systems educator on this amazing platform called Tavaverse, which you're going to hear about. You've probably seen videos and other things about Tavaverse, but what I want to do is make sure I go slower and break this thing down for you. Okay, I'm going to break this thing down for you, but I want you to ask your questions, because I'm going to answer some of those questions live that you may have. And we're going to talk a little bit, because I really want to get you to a point of thinking. That's what I do in systems. I'm always looking for the easiest way to get things accomplished where you can still be successful, obtain your goals, and make more money, right? And so one of the things that I teach in my class, which is really the premise and the basis of everything I do, is that if there's a lack of systems, then there is chaos. And that's systems in every area. That's not just systems in business, but that's systems in your home. If you have kids, you have to have a system to know what time they go to bed, what time do they eat, what time do they get up, what is their schedule after school, what do you have to do for your business or going to work, what about your spouse. So if you didn't have systems in play, you would be pulling your hair out every single day. And so we have to think in systems, and we have to move within systems in every area of our life. And so in my sessions that happen every Wednesday night, we're constantly talking about the different pieces and parts that help make up the entire makeup for your life. So we talk about personal all the way into business. And so I'm going to share my screen really quick, because I want to, just kind of point out a couple of things. And so we got Tavaverse here, and you see the word hard asset education. And the reason that you see hard asset education is because real estate, gold, silver, that is one of the biggest and some of the best investments that we can have. Think about it. There are buildings that's 100 years old. Hi, Takoa. There are buildings that are 100 years old, 200 years old. People are still making money off of those buildings, right? And so now it is time for us to get from the point to where we're paying for the legacy of others versus having someone paying for our legacy 50, 60, 100 years from now. And so the reason why many of us don't tap in where we need to tap in is because of lack of education or lack of knowledge. And that's where Tavaverse comes into play. Real estate itself is just one facet of it, but it all plays together so that you can truly position yourself to create legacy, a legacy of benefits for your family, not a legacy of bills. So we have to ask ourselves, what type of legacy do we want to leave for our family? And what are the things that we're doing? And what are the things that we are implementing in order to be able to make that happen? Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what I want you to think about as you're listening in on tonight's session. So we're going to go ahead and keep going through here. So this is my amazing mentor right here, Jewel Tanker. She is the visionary of Tavaverse. I've been blessed to be able to have her as my spiritual mom, as my pastor as well, and being able to serve and work alongside her over the past 11 years has been amazing, because the reality is the proximity that I was able to gain through serving opened up so many doors for me to produce for myself and produce for my family and set goals that I would have never knew that I desired to have. And so working as her chief operating officer a little bit less than a year ago, she was contacted by the founders of this amazing opportunity here, Kenny and Shantae Lloyd, because they knew that what she had to carry was going to be able to help the masses. You see what I'm saying? And so I knew when she came to me and like, this is what we're about to do, I knew it was an answer. It was an answer, because what happened was not only was she positioned herself, but now she had access to a platform that we were able to partner with to help touch masses all over the country. Do you see what I'm saying? And so as the visionary of Tavaverse, anyone who knows Jewel Tankard, you know that her passion is to see everybody live the life of their dreams, right? And through the education and her vision for Tavaverse, she has positioned each and every one of us, including you on here, once you plug in and make that decision to connect with this community, she has given access to experts in multiple fields that are going to help build and produce what it is that you're trying to produce. So we're going to keep going, because it's a couple things that I want to point out, and then I'm going to stop sharing because I'm more of an action. I want to engage with you guys. So make sure y'all stay with me, because y'all will probably get some free nuggets from me on this call. And so the reality is this, y'all. Financial literacy is important for kids, but it's important for adults too, because some of us growing up didn't get those basic financial literacy things. Like, here are a couple statistics. 75% of American teens lack confidence in their knowledge of personal finance. I know this personally to be true because I was a teen at once, but also I'm a youth minister. So I work with teens all the time, graduating, going off to college, and even in that, sometimes don't know how to deposit money in the bank. Don't even know about a check register. Even though we don't write checks, doesn't mean you shouldn't track where your money is going. Understanding loans, not being afraid of credit, but having the right understanding of how to leverage your credit, right? So it's different things like that even as adults, we don't know. There were things since this platform launched in May that I didn't know that I have now learned, implemented, and it's changed my life, right? 75% of Americans say they don't have anyone they can ask for trusted financial guidance. So what happens when you don't have anyone that you can ask the questions to? You just don't ask the questions, and then you don't grow. You'll look up year after year after year, and you're wondering why I have not scaled like I desire to scale. Is because you're operating as an island, right? You're not tapping into where you could get resources or education and things like that. And so we're going to talk about that. 23% of U.S. adults 18 to 29 have credit card debt over 90 days overdue. That's 90 days overdue, right? And so now that goes into another problem, because people are getting credit for things they don't have the money to pay back. And so this is the spiral that a lot of us fall into due to lack of financial literacy, financial education, and then it talks about how Americans owe over $800 billion in credit card debt. And this was as of Q1 of 2022. So these statistics are very alarming, but the thing about it is we can change those statistics. Those can be changed with the right partnerships and with the right collaborations. So we're going to go ahead over here to the next slide. And so within Tavaverse, it gives you an opportunity to posture yourself to elevate your financial IQ. Okay. So you're going to be learning about how to make smart investments, managing your money more effectively, make informed decisions about your financial future. Like, I don't know if you all knew this, but did you know, literally, it's easier to purchase an investment property than it is to purchase a primary home. Do you know why? Because banks see investment properties as money or assets, which they are, and they see your primary home as a liability, which they are. You see what I'm saying? But the reality is many of us have been trained and positioned to say, let me buy my first house, let me buy my house, let me buy my house, versus saying, let me buy these investment properties to pay for my house, or let me buy these investment properties to pay for this. Do you see what I'm saying? And so when we shift our mindset and we change our mindset to, I'll just say, all about assets, we get asset minded. When we posture ourselves to be asset minded, that means that the money that we make, whether it's from our job or whether it's from my business or freelance work or whatever the case may be, I'm taking that money and putting it into an asset. Why? Because when I take that money and put it into an asset, that asset now pays for my life versus taking the money and spending it and dispensing it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it takes a mindset shift. And so Tavaverse is really positioned to help us unlearn some of the bad habits that don't seem like bad habits and relearn some things that will help catapult us to where we're trying to go. One of the things that I absolutely love as well is that you understand global economic trends. Many of you probably seen things happening where BRICS is concerned, right? So you seeing everything that's happened with BRICS. I'm not even going into a whole lot of detail with that. I might do another live or something where that's concerned. But the reality is hyperinflation is right around the corner. And also, I'll just do this plug. If you don't have cryptocurrency, you should. And you're probably like, well, they make cryptocurrency look like it's bad, right? Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. Do you see what I'm saying? So they make something look bad so you don't have it, to where then when you need it, you don't have it. So this is where you get global economic understanding of trends and what's happening globally. Do you see what I'm saying? And then you get exclusive access to financial institutions. You're able to utilize service and products to build and protect your assets. So within our particular platform, you have access to resources to help with trust structure setup, your credit, your taxes, mortgage funding, real estate properties, systems setup, marketing strategies. All of these things come into play for what it is that you're looking to do. So Tavaverse is really for anyone who owns a business, any person who owns real estate, or anyone who desires to own a business or desire to have real estate, which is pretty much everybody desires one or the other. Whether you don't want real estate, but you're like, look, I'm in business, Tavaverse is for you. I desire to have a business, Tavaverse is for you. And we're going to go into that a little bit. So y'all stay there. I'm about to shift in a second because I'm going to need your engagement to help get to this next point once I finish going through a few more slides here. And so what I just really want to point out, because with Tavaverse, there are multiple areas that we focus on. So we focus on your mindset, because the reality is you can't obtain something until your mind goes there first. As I mentioned, global economics, understanding the state of the economy and the market trends, that's going to be extremely important in the decisions that you make financially, right? For not just yourself, but for your family. Real estate, first time or investors, learning how to leverage the real estate markets to create generational wealth for your family. Determine what area of real estate you want to be involved in, whether it's fix and flip, whether it's wholesaling, whether it's rental properties, different ways that you want to leverage that. You're going to learn and figure out which particular arena you will be in. Funding, understanding the must-haves to be approved for funding. So within our platform, you have access to a mortgage lender who is actually licensed in all 50 states, who understands the different types of mortgages. So not only is she teaching you about the types of mortgages, she's showing you and helping you understand what are the things that I need to have in place before you go to the bank. So now you have a one-up. So when you go, you're fully in position to receive the funding. And by implementing these strategies, these creative strategies, you're literally able to position yourself to receive funding with little to no money out of pocket. Then you have your credit. I don't know about y'all, but when I was growing up and was getting close to 18, they were like, don't get a credit card. Don't do this. Don't do that. But I did it all, right? But I say that to say, people said don't do because of lack of understanding and strategy. So now we're in position to show you understanding and strategy, right? And so you're learning how to leverage your credit to create cash flow. There are some people that I've personally been able to meet who own thousands of properties, right? investment properties. And with those thousands of investment properties, they have millions in debt. So the average person be like, oh my gosh, they have $1 million in debt. But the reality is, from understanding the strategy, is that they're leveraging OPM, other people's money. So you're going to learn that through the platform, how to leverage other people's money to get the investments to produce cash flow for you. Asset minded. Asset minded is the key. Then you have systems, my baby, right? You're positioning yourself to have more time. When you can get systems in play and you have a well-oiled machine, it gives you an opportunity to have more time available, right? And so you're learning how to delegate. You're learning how to give tasks to other people so that you can focus on income producing activity and allow other things to make themselves happen without you having to be fully there and fully engaged. And not only that, you have access to marketing. You have to make your presence known. People buy you before they buy anything that you have. So making your brand pop, making it known, brand recognition, all these things play a major role with regards to your brand. So you're going to learn that whether you have a beauty salon, a doctor's office, an attorney's office, a real estate business, it doesn't matter what type of business or where you are in real estate. Marketing is going to be extremely important, because at the end of the day, many people who work a job don't want to work a job and want their own business, and they want their business to make money. But if they don't have proper marketing strategies in play, they'll find themselves going back to work because nobody knows they exist, right? And so the beautiful thing I love about these particular areas, they're taught on every single week. And not only are they taught on every single week, at the end of every session, you have the opportunity to ask questions about where you are. So it's not a platform where you're just listening, but you're getting strategy. So in those sessions, you can ask personal questions related to what it is you have going on. Because here's the thing, while this movement is expanding, each and every one of us are at a different phase in our process. And so there is no cookie cutter way to make it happen. However, we make sure we keep those doors open to answer Sherelle's question, to answer Jerusa's question, to answer Mo's question. Do you see what I'm saying? So now you have that access to that community so that you continue to move forward. So what we're going to do real quick, let me stop sharing my screen so I can, blow myself up a little bit. So I do see I still have y'all on here. So do me a favor in the chat, somebody, anybody, everybody. Put in the chat for me, what is one of your top goals by the end of 2023? What is something that you want to accomplish by the end of 2023? Put in the chat. Because this is how I want you to start thinking. And I'm getting ready to show you live here in this example of how Tavaverse can help you regardless of where you are in your phase or your stage. Somebody put in the chat for me, what is something that you absolutely want to accomplish by the end of the year? Okay, Demetrius, she says she wants to own 4 doors. I love it. All right, I'm going to use you as an example. Demetrius, keep your fingers on the keys because I'm about to ask some more questions. Anybody else want to post? Because this is how I want you to think about it. And so after this presentation is over, I want you to get back with the person that invited you to watch this presentation. Because what I'm about to do live right here with Demetrius, it can be done for you so you have a plan of action moving into action. Okay, so not only is Tavaverse an educational platform, we are about to show you how you can leverage it to your capacity for where you are. Sherelle says she wants to purchase her first rental property. I love it. So I'm going to ask Sherelle and Demetrius. So, okay, Love says she wants 1 door. All right, so here we go. So the first thing that I would ask each of you all, would you say that you have enough capital to, and you can just put yes or no, do you have enough capital to put down 20% on a property? Just put yes or no in the chat. Okay, Jerusalem said pay off debt to build my credit. to position myself for multifamily investment property. Oh, I'm going to use you too, Jerusalem, just in a second. Hold that one right there. All right. Do you have enough capital to put money down? Okay. I see no. All right. The next question I have, do you have an LLC? Demetrius, do you have an LLC? Okay. Love said no. Okay. Okay. Demetrius has an LLC. Jerusa has an LLC. Okay. Perfect. So then my first statement to you, so if okay, and look, Love said no. Okay. So in this first particular scenario, what I would say to Demetrius and what I would say to Jerusa is, because you all have an LLC, one of the things that I want to make sure that you do once you get plugged into this platform is I want you to schedule for your free credit analysis. And the reason that I want you to schedule for your free credit analysis is because you do have an LLC, you have an opportunity to position yourself for business credit. Okay. The beautiful thing about business credit is that your personal credit does not matter, right? And so for the person that may say, I need to pay more debt down to build my credit to get in position for a multifamily investment, many people don't realize that your personal debt to income ratio, where your credit is concerned, doesn't matter for investment properties either, right? But the beautiful thing is, for the person that does not have the capital, there are strategies that you can use leveraging your LLC business credit. I love it. She said, I'm building my business credit right now. So through the platform with our partners, they will assist you over a 90 to 120-day period to build your business credit to get to a B+ rating so that you can get access to capital. So now what happens is you don't have to get capital from building a business, but you have capital because you have business credit, right? And then the next thing that you'll learn is that where your business credit is concerned, it doesn't report to your personal credit. So what does that mean? If you have your business credit in position and you have personal debt or credit cards that you're trying to pay down to boost your credit score on your personal, if that's particularly for, let's just say, to buy a home or do something else, you can transfer those balances to your business credit cards, right? So now what happens is your personal credit done skyrocketed and you're funneling and getting everything taken care of through your LLC. So these are the strategies that we would show you how to set up particularly for yourself. Let's see. Yes, and Demetrius said she's selling her home, so she'll have capital at that particular point as well. So now for the person that has the LLC, we're going to work on your business credit. For the person that says, I want to buy a multifamily investment property, your personal credit doesn't necessarily matter other than your credit score. So it doesn't mean that your utilization has to be at a certain place. However, when you get what is called a DSCR loan, which is particularly for investment properties, well, this is just one strategy. None of that other stuff matter. There are certain things in play, but that personal, like when they see that you're able to get the capital to close for whatever your percentage is, and all they want to know is, will that property make enough money to pay the loan? That's what they're looking for. But when you look at a personal loan, that's when your debt to income ratio truly, truly, truly matters. Now, of course, there are multiple types of funding strategies, from a DSCR to a traditional FHA. If you're doing an FHA for your multifamily, you can buy up to a fourplex. Many people didn't know that. A smart strategy that we teach and show and walk you through is, okay, if you're buying your first time home buyer, instead of buying a single family, why not buy a fourplex? live in one of the units and allow tenants to pay for the other three. Live in the other three and pay for the whole building, right? So now this is where those strategies, those asset strategies start to come into play. And so by being a partner with Tavaverse, what happens is you have access to real estate educator Phil, who's going to now say, okay, Jerusa, when you buy this property, are you looking to buy and flip it? Are you looking to buy and hold it? What type of tenants do you want? And do you want long-term tenants? If you want long-term tenants, do you want Section 8 tenants so your money is guaranteed? Or are you doing short-term rental where you can put in traveling nurses? So now it's so many different ways you can go depending on your goals. And so within the platform, you're able to, to be walked through what that actually looks out. So now Jerusa has made a decision. I am getting a fourplex. Demetrius said, I'm getting a triplex. And they said, we want to get a Section 8 tenant. And then we want to do short term with traveling nurses. So now they have access to systems educator me, hey, to say, okay, if you're going to be using traveling nurses, let's look at the best platforms for you to market. So you got access to the marketer to say, this is how you're going to market it to get the right people to come into this unit. Because imagine having 3 other units that have 3 bedrooms and now you can rent to 9 nurses. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is how you start thinking. So I really want you to just take a moment and think about, what is your dream home? Your dream home may be $5 million. Your dream home may be $1 million. It may be $200,000. There's no right or wrong. But what I want you to think about is, how many doors can I get or should I get to pay for it? Because the reality is someone is always going to need a place to stay. So that creates a very solid income cash flow. Okay, so picture this, Jerusa and Demetrius, they turn around and they buy their multifamily properties, $200,000, right? And then they buy this for $200,000. And so their mortgage on that $200,000 property is $900 a month, okay? So they got 4 units. And let's just say each of those units is $1,000, right? So your mortgage, taxes, and insurance is $900. So you're getting $4,000 in rent each month, and you only have to send $900 away. That's $3,100 that you have to invest or fund your life. And so that's really what Tavaverse is about. Living off of the interest, living off of the appreciation. Do you see what I'm saying? Because we have been so consumer minded that we don't know how to really truly produce. When you think about Robert Kiyosaki and the cash flow quadrant and the way that money is made, most people are on the left side. Most people are in the E and the S quadrant and desire to be in the B and the I quadrant, but don't know what to do to stay there. They'll start getting over there, but it seems a little hard and they slide right back over. But that's why you need community of people around you, people who are where you're trying to go, or people who have the same thought process and mindset that you have to keep pushing you for where you're trying to go. So that's going to be extremely important. And that's why this community is so important. Okay. I see Kara said a talk show for recovering from substance use. I love it. So with that talk show, there are going to be systems and things in play to get you some actual, ads and get people to pay to advertise. There are so many things from a marketing standpoint that you can utilize. And who is to say from that, you eventually get to the particular point where you're able to have a substance abuse facility that the state funds and that is being paid for, right, on your behalf. And now that that's being paid for and you have the systems in play, the profit that you make from that, you're able to shift over here and you do, get more investments. So I want you to put in the chat, and I really want you to think asset minded. Everything that you're buying, big purchases and things, is this an asset or a liability? And then I challenge you to start thinking about the things that you desire for your life, because literally anything that you desire for your life is obtainable. The thing about it is, you have to be able to make sure that you can sustain it. And that's what many people mess up. They'll buy the $1 million homes, but they're buying the $1 million homes off of the back of what their business is doing right now. Okay. And so what happens is if business turns, then, you have certain things in jeopardy. But if you shift your mindset and say, I'm going to I want to buy this $2 million house. This $2 million house is going to fund, this $2 million house is going to cost me X amount per month. So I'm going to buy this $2 million house when I get my X investment property. So you may say, okay, this $2 million house is going to cost me $9,000 a month. I'm just throwing a number out there. So I would say, okay, I have a goal to have 15 units producing a minimum of $1,200 a month, right? So now that puts me right over the 20-something thousand dollar a month space just in my investments. So now what happens is me providing a place for other people to rent or live is now paying for what I desire to live in. So when I think about it from that standpoint and strategy, it changes the game. And so those are things that we help you with in your Tavaverse experience and your journey as you go through the process. And as I mentioned, every person's process is going to be different, but we're here to help you navigate and create the steps that are necessary. So as I mentioned, just to recap, you have access to all of the educators 6 days, 5 days a week. It's actually 5 days a week. It is 6 sessions a week, 2 sessions on Wednesday, a morning and a night session. On those sessions, you are able to answer or ask questions and get your questions answered. You have access to a Facebook and a Telegram community where the educators, we are in there answering questions and assisting you all with things that you have questions to, because it does take a village. We think about a village for raising a child, but us adults, we need a village too. We all need help to get to our next levels. It was never meant for us to be raised to 18 and then left to fend for ourselves. That was never what was supposed to happen. We were never created to be islands. And so we just have to get to a point to say, I need help, and I'm willing to position myself to get the help and be a student and apply. So not just be a hearer, but a doer as well. And so for the person that wants to get plugged in and get started, I just want to share this with you really quick. It's 4 different options to get started. Tava itself started as a nutritional company. So it is 3 divisions under one company. So you have your Tava Fit, you have your Tava Worldwide, and Tavaverse. And so with all of the packages to get started in Tavaverse, each package does have some health products in it, some nutritional products in it, some liquid vitamin, detox tea, and just different things depending on your package. So our Smart Financial Kit package is $200 plus taxes and shipping depending on your state. The highest package you can get is the $1,200 Legacy Elevation System. That particular package is for the person that says, look, I'm trying to get in so that I can position myself in a legacy for my family, but not only do I want to position myself for the legacy of my family, I want to help other people position themselves. And so whichever package you choose to get into, you have access to everything that I've previously mentioned with regards to the Tavaverse access and sessions. Now, with regards to the $1,200 pack, there is one additional caveat, which is a monthly mastermind session with the educators and access to exclusive information. And that happens once a month if you do, plug in with that $1,200 package. And to get access to this education on a weekly basis is only $149 a month. Okay. And so I can truly say, even as a systems educator, I plug into the sessions of the other educators, from the real estate to the credit to the marketing, to the funding, to the global economics, and it is changing my life. There are things that I personally didn't even know at this particular point in those arenas that I have started to implement, and y'all will see testimonies coming really soon. So that's all that I have, you guys, unless anyone has any questions. But I encourage you to get back with the person that shared this live with you. Let them know you're ready to get started. Talk to them and tell them what your goals are by the end of the year so that we can assist in getting you a direct plan of action for what that needs to look like for you over these next 4 or 5 months. Okay, so go ahead and get back with that person, and let's just go out and make impact. Let's position ourselves to live the life of our dreams. As I mentioned in the beginning, let's position ourselves to leave our family a legacy of benefits, not a legacy of bills, but a legacy of benefits. So thank you all so much for tuning in. You guys have a blessed night, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side of money. God bless.